studying you. Your thoughts on it are irrelevant. Their symbols, those Illuminati symbols aren't based on your beliefs. So when I say things like, well, it appears as though a devilish force, a reoccurring theme is that a devilish force steals the creative essence of the Most High God. And you think to yourself, well, that's impossible. That's blasphemy, Michael. I don't understand what happened. I don't understand why, how could you steal the creative essence from God? To me, that seems impossible. I don't understand it. All I know is that when the notes were compiled, that was a repeating theme that I had to include, because I am preparing you to see it. And you don't believe, okay, well, I don't believe that Zeus is another name for God. Okay, well, that's fine. But next time you're reading a magic book or an occult book and you pass over names like Zeus and Osiris, you might as well just convert them into what they really are. You got God, you got Jesus. You don't have to believe it. Consider Osiris to be a symbol for Jesus, as if they had put a cross there. It's just another name. You don't have to actually believe that Osiris and Jesus are the same person. I would like you to. I know I believe it, but I'll tell you this, their symbols aren't based on either of our beliefs. It's based on their beliefs. And their beliefs are that if you're going through the occult and you see a reference to Osiris, you might as well just replace it with Jesus, because for every time I've seen Osiris, it was always in the context of Jesus. So, take it how you will. I could say, hey, listen, this is why they have their phallic towers. You go, oh, that's blasphemy. I don't believe that. Hey, this isn't about what you believe. We're studying them. Their phallic towers are based on the event where Satan steals the creative essence of God and uses it to create the Nephilim. If you don't believe that that's possible, fine. I'm preparing you for the occult. This isn't Christianity here. This isn't The Soul Traveler brought to you by the Light of God Ministries. This is, and there's a lot of things that I ended up putting in the documentary that I don't understand. Just like when I said, Lucifer, who appears to be associated with the East. Do I know what that means? No, I don't know what that means. I don't know what the East is. I can take a guess and say that it's an extra dimensional place. I can guess, but I don't really know why every single time I see Lucifer associated with any single point on the compass, it's always the East. I don't understand that, and I don't have to. I'm putting together a compilation for you. You can imagine it as if you had said, Mike, I want you to go read like a bunch of, dozens and dozens of magic books and just, give me a little quick report on what I find. And I'm like, hey, Lucifer, they always associated with the East. And then you go, what is that? What does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. They're always saying that Satan stole the phallus of God. You say, well, what does that mean? That sounds like blasphemy. What are you trying to put out, occultism, Mike? I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know what it means. I don't know, and I don't have to know. All I know is that when the notes were compiled, it came up like 10 times, so I have to include it. Somewhere in the book I say, a vegetarian diet is good magically, that it's what is preferred and ideal for the magician, and perhaps just for the normal person, who knows. Do I eat a vegetarian diet? No, I don't. Do I know why vegetarian diets are better for the magician? No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I know that compared to plants and vegetables, meat is a second-hand food, meaning that they got energy from the plant, and now you're getting energy from them. It's pretty much like a hand-me-down form of energy. But do I really know what it is about the plants and that makes you magically stronger? No, I don't know, and I don't have to know. When the notes are compiled, it kept coming up, so I included it. So don't mistake a lot of the things that you saw and read as like my personal opinions. A lot of them have become my personal opinions, but even if they weren't, I would still be forced to report them to you. There's plenty out there who think that the mark of the beast is a chip. Okay, fine. You think it's a chip? Fine. But I tell you, when you're reading satanic books and you come across mark of the beast 666, they will not be using mark of the beast, quote unquote, in reference to a microchip. It will be in reference to transformation that required some kind of selling of your soul, some kind of eternal commitment. And that's the context that they're going to be using it in. Who cares what you think about it? I'm telling you, I'm preparing you for the occult. And when I've seen Mark of the Beast, it was never in the context of a chip, a microchip or control. It was always in the context of transformation, but by the powers of Satan. That's it. Like I said, a lot of things I don't know, and I don't have to know. A lot of things I don't truly understand what's in front of me. These only became my opinions later. This isn't me pushing occultism. Even if you don't want to accept the fact that this is reality, even though my personal opinion is a vast majority of what was spoke of in the Soul Travelers is true. Even if you don't want to believe that, that's fine, because you're still here to study the occult. And that's what's going to empower you to understand their symbols, is to know what's available to you, what's possible in the world of magic. You got Lucifer's transformation, and I told you that he seems to be a character who took in a dark essence. So you can say, well, Lucifer was always Satan, it's just another name. Well, fine, you believe whatever you want to believe. But when you're going through these books on magic and the occult, they're going to speak of him as a character who was separate from Satan until he took him in. I don't understand how. I don't understand what's going on. I don't. All I know is it came up. It was a repeating theme, and considering that I was putting together a compilation of the occult, I didn't have the right to leave it out. It was in the notes. I didn't have the right. I think probably the most saddest thing that about the occult is nobody truly knows what's possible and what's not. Well, not nobody, but such a small percentage of people know what's possible and what's not. And there's been so many people that I know that claim to have studied the occult, but then when I went to go look up magic and Satanism, none of the crap that they were talking about was even there. I mean, really, how many people have told you that a great part of magic is alchemy, is spiritual alchemy, is transforming the self? I mean, really, anybody who claims that they've done research on the occult and didn't stumble into body transformation, spiritual transformation, that's a bogus researcher. Just forget them. I mean, you can't even swing a dead cat without running into alchemy in terms of magic. In fact, that's one of the things that I kind of regretted, is that, those class participation segments where I was telling you, like middle pillar ritual, telepathy, I wanted to keep going with that. And I'm like, listen, I wanted to say, here's your homework for this segment. I want you to Google magical alchemy, and I still want you to do it. Type in magical alchemy, type in magic, or just go find a magic book, a book about magic, and just peer through it. You're going to find that I prepared you properly. They're going to use many names from many mythologies to describe characters that you already know. B, they're going to be talking about how they can change themselves. Like, why is it that I should have heard it from somebody else, this body transformation? You want us to believe in vampires and some kind of changing of the body. Well, I just haven't heard that enough times to take your word on it. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. I'm sorry. I really would. Please type in magical alchemy. Type in magic and alchemy and find out just how many books, both white and black magic, are devoted towards spiritual transformation. And then come back and tell me that I was wrong. You can Google. In fact, I want you to Google anything. Just Google random stuff that I said throughout the documentary, just to check up on me. You don't want to believe that there was a Babylonian or Sumerian Noah named Deucalion. Well, go look up, check on me. Type in larva thought form and hit enter and see if I described those spiritual beings correctly. Type in invoking banishing pentagram and see if I explained how it's done properly. I mean, go ahead and check up. You're not subject to me as if I'm the final word. I want you to go look this stuff up on Google, because it'll solidify in your mind what I'm saying. It'll give me a bit of credit. I feel like I can buy some credit if you just quote unquote confirm or prove what I'm saying. And that's entirely my point, is that magic is the occult. There is no occult without magic. To talk about the occult without mentioning magic, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. There's no occultist that doesn't practice magic. Don't mistake it for like, well, I just